What's going on, everyone? This is Top Gun Maverick Pilot here in DCS World, the new 2.5 open beta. So I'll be talking about my first impressions, new things on the 2.5, little issues that I found out, and also I'll be doing a test flight on the new map. So let's go ahead and begin. So first thing, this came out Friday, 2nd of February. So I was busy over the weekend and also Super Bowl and hanging out with my friends, but I had time now to find out more about the 2.5. But right now what they're doing, after reading the news, the forums, and the links that came out with it, is they want us to start out with the open beta and find out any discrepancies they have with the textures, with the graphics, with the gameplay, with the aircrafts, with the map, with the actual new update. But that won't go on until they fix all the kinks, and then we can go to the multiplayer, because right now I can't. When I log out, it exits out. It doesn't log out of my login, it just exits out too. So these two are exits, so that kind of sucks. So anyways, let's go ahead and begin my first impressions. So the loading screen looks awesome. It's more sophisticated looking, and it's actually quite faster on my computer. I'm running DCS World on my M2 drive. I don't have a solid drive, I have a legitimate M2 drive, so I could notice even like nanoseconds difference, and with the loading screen it's a lot faster and less hesitation as well. So anyways, they added an icon for Caucasus. That's awesome. It's right here. So this is their own wallpaper. It looks better, it looks nice, and you can go from Nevada to Normandy, etc., or to your aircrafts that you have and purchase. But let's go back to this wallpaper, Caucasus. So that's my first impression. I know that they put more time and emphasis, and I'm gonna talk about the greatest thing they did, but just a second. So again, the logout is exit. They're gonna, until it's 2.51, this is just an exit, and there's no multiplayer yet. Alright, so the options. So I've noticed they're adding more options, and it's a great thing. So I noticed there's this chimney smoke density. I also noticed this cockpit global illumination, and also they're adding more deferred shading and etc. So they're adding more things. That's great. So that's a new thing for 2.5. So controls is still the same thing. The gameplay, they didn't add too much things to it. However, it's not different from the other alpha betas, but it's still good to go. Audio's still the same. Miscellaneous are adding more, especially with the synchronized cockpit controls and force feedback, and a couple more things like collect statistics. That's awesome. Auto login, well, that should be on anyway, so I don't know why that's off. And then the chat window at start. Okay, see, that's not a workout. Still, multiplayer still out. All right, so the special just for every aircraft, but the VR, they're emphasizing more. They're adding more things to the VR. That's great. So people who are looking into VR on DCS World, look no further, because they're adding more options for that as well, especially with all of these. So probably in the future I'll try out VR, see how that works out. So anyways, that's the option, and I'll talk about the login or log out. It's gonna exit out, so it doesn't matter. Now I've noticed this huge thing, and I'm so glad they consolidate all three into one. Thank God. If you were a Steam player, you had to put either Nevada or Caucasus map. If you wanted to play Nevada, you had to wait and download that to re-upload all the files, or download all the files into your computer, wait 30 to 50 minutes for it to download, then you can play your Nevada map. And if you decide that you want to go multiplayer because not many people are in Nevada, then you have to re-download this and then wait for it, then you can play. So that kind of sucked, but now they did all three into one, and I'm so glad. You can choose the Caucasus, you can choose the Nevada, you can choose the Normandy, and then you can choose your aircraft. It's so awesome. I like that a lot. So I noticed that the P-51, they had a campaign, so I'm gonna talk about that in a second. So that's good. They added that on the instant action. So create fast missions, they add a little bit more. Even advanced mode, it looks better, or it's almost the same, but I could tell it's the graphics is a little bit better, so that's good. And then the missions, still the same thing. That's alright. Now the campaign, that's a different thing. I noticed the P-51, it came out with the new challenge campaign. That's awesome. But again, this is recently new, as you see that, but they Oh, again, they killed my missions. Like my campaigns were gone, so I had to redo it again. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. And same thing with with my SC-33, they're gone. My 27, they're gone. Where the freaking went? So, but that's fine though. I don't care. So the campaigns, my logbook's still there, but whatever. But the multiplayer is grayed out. And like I said again, we had to wait until the 2.51 comes out, because right now it's still a open beta. They want us to fix and find out any discrepancies, let them know about the graphics, the texture, the gameplay, the engine itself, see how it works out, and etc. So that sucks. So if you want to play multiplayer, don't get the open beta yet. Wait for it to come out with the finalized, which is 2.51. So the same thing with the logbook, and also with the campaign builder is more textures, more detailed, so it does take a while for it to upload and go from there. Alright, so that's my first impressions, and that's also the first screen on the DCS World 2.5. Now I'll be flying the MiG-21 on this new map, and let's see. Alright, so that's the first thing I noticed. My campaigns were gone. They were zeroed out. So I'll be flying the MiG-21 on the new beta 2.5 DCS. So I was looking through my other campaigns too, and they were zeroed out too. So I thought it was hilarious. So the loading screen looks better. It looks more sophisticated. It looks more modern, and the loading for me is a little bit faster. So that's a good thing right there. Alright, so my first impression was it was a lot more brighter, more detailed. The shadows, even the grass. Look at the grass. So looking at the bird's view, it was even more detailed, and when I completely zoomed in, it looked so realistic. They did a great job. So I was looking at my options, and I noticed that you could add more gamma, and also with the trees and grass. So I was twerking with the settings and with the tree visibility. I was messing with those, making sure what is best for my frames per second, and I just left it at that for right now. I left it at low settings for the grass, but it still looks so great. Even putting at the lowest setting and the trees, it was still good on my frames per second, and even with the graphics and textures. So when I taxi out of here, I noticed the sky, the clouds looks better. The clouds are better, because the old one, it was like these three settings. It went from this cloud, and it morphed to a different cloud when you got closer, and then when you're in the cloud, it morphed again. And I hated that. But this is just that one identical cloud, and when you fly into it, it's still the same one. But the runway looks good, and the grass setting, even had the lowest setting on the grass, it looked great. And even on the MiG-21, even the shadow, it's like perfect on the MiG-21, and it's perfect on a 2.5. So the shadow and the lighting, the textures, it was so good. So I was just me playing on the MiG-21. So I noticed a huge difference on the runway. Now when I went into the runway, I noticed that they had tire marks, so it was even more realistic, the landing marks on the runways. So that was kudos on them to add that as well. So while taking off, I passed the tire marks, so it was more different, it was more realistic. And I've noticed also the trees around and the grass, the lighting and the texture, and also the sky was so good. So this is me flying the MiG-21, and even the MiG-21, you could tell a difference with the shine, with the lighting, with the glare, with the shadow, with the texture. I mean, everything was good on it, and it didn't seem so fake, because the old one, even the sky didn't match with the water, didn't match with the land, and didn't match with the aircraft. But the 2.5, it seemed like everything matched. The sky matches with the land, and it also matched with the water. The grass looks so amazing. It's like the grades. Look at the 7-ton, this communication 7-ton, and even when I zoomed out, you can even see the glare of the water. But look at the grass. Look at how it touches the tires. Look, even the tires had dirt. It has dirt, and it's even perfect. It's even better. I love it. Even look at this 7-ton. Look at this other one. The grass is different. There's not all the same. It's not like consistent. It's like different from here, there, the patches. Looking through all the aircrafts, and look at the forest, man. Look at the tree bark, and look at the ground. Look at the gravel. It's so good. I like it. So on this shot, you can see how the water looks so real. The ocean looks great. It looks so realistic, and it touches with the sand, and it touches with the land, and it actually touches with the horizon, and it's just, look at that. It's just, you can see the glare of the sun. It's so real. Every time I fly, realistic, like real life, I fly. That's what I see, and it is so real. They put so much time on it, so much detail. It looks great. And this is a low setting on the grass, on the trees, and on the shadows, and it still look great. Alright, so in conclusion, I have to say I am amazed. They did a great job on the texture. They did a great job on the shadows, on the entire map. They put more time and more detail, and it's not mundane whatsoever. Even the water looks good, the sky looks good, the clouds looks good, even the textures of the aircrafts looks great. Even the runway, the taxi, every airfield, every airbase looks good. So on this landing, it was so perfect. It was like the smoothest landing that I did on my MiG-21. And even the textures of the taxi and runway looks so great, especially with a tire mark. That was like perfect right there. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they done it. They did a great job. So, and even the horizon looks great, and the clouds, they move, and they actually do a great job. So that's it. This is the video on me, my first impressions on the DCS World Open Beta 2.5. You guys did a great job, and I'm looking forward on the multiplayer. So again, this is Top Gun Maverick Pilot here in DCS World Open Beta, and I hope you enjoy my presentation.